Hello, everyone. Welcome to Pink Power. We are so excited for tonight's call. I'm Nikki Westerfield, and
Hi, I am Kara Flippin, and welcome Show Me. We have a super exciting call lined up for you tonight, and we can't wait for you to hear his story.
yes, we're so excited. We have Danny Colella on the call with us. He is the definition of a rock star. He has been with the company just a really short time, and he's been doing like amazing. So we're super excited to have him on the call tonight. Um, But first, really quick, we're going to talk about the online events. We are having our online event on Tuesday, tomorrow. So make sure you guys get with me if you're not sure what the online event is. And it's going to be starting at 9 o'clock, right, Kara?
Yes, 8 p.m. for all of you people in my time zone, Central Time
Yes.
Zone, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. But
Yes.
they are super beneficial. I know I have personally gotten several new customers and sponsored several ambassadors because I've taken advantage of these online events and letting them get the information straight there. So if you don't know what that is, please ask, and we will make sure we get you added to them.
Yes, I agree. And with that being said, I will go ahead and give the mic to Danny Colella. If you want to just share your story and kind of tell us a little bit of your why and how you began with Plexus.
Awesome. Thanks again for having me on this call. I'm honored and blessed to be your second guest. It feels awesome. I am a new silver ambassador. I just went silver maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. I started Plexus August 30th, and it's nothing I was looking for. It's nothing I wanted to do. It wasn't on my radar. I'll be honest about that. Nikki hired me as a DJ. I'm a part-time DJ. That's what I do. It's for fun. And she was having an awesome big party at the Buckeye Lodge, and she hired me to be a DJ. So I was just going there to be a DJ. I was just going there to do my job, do what I was supposed to do, and I put together a big, nice slide for Nikki, a big, nice presentation. I told her I would do it. I told her I'd bring TVs, and she started sending me these pictures. They were these before-after pictures, and she did it to me on Facebook, and I noticed these pictures. They just kept coming through, coming through, coming through. I'm like, man, is she going to stop? And next thing you know, like, she sends me all these pictures on Facebook. I got to download each one of them, and, there's no just download all button, and I remember putting this slideshow together and seeing all these before-after pictures, and something clicked for me at that point, but I didn't know it yet. I just watched this video of all these people and their life and how it changed and this before and this after, and I remember telling my wife, like, do you want to check this out and see what this is about? And she's like, no. And I'm like, okay, well, never mind then. So I did that video for her, and I went through the whole Plexus night. I wasn't paying attention. I told Kara right before I got on the call because her and her mom came out and did a big long presentation. I think I was eating like a buffalo chicken wrap in the corner while they were talking, so I wasn't even really paying attention. But that night, Kara's dad, Greg, spent a lot of time talking to me, and I could just tell that him and Lori were such genuine people that were just awesome, and they were there to help, and they were there to give me whatever I wanted. Greg just spent so much time trying to explain to me, like, look, you get paid 11 different ways. He must have said that like 25 times. And Greg, if you're on here, you did it, man. It worked. So that's sort of how things started clicking for me. And the next day, I was just sort of sitting on my couch. My wife was out of town, so it was just me, no kids. It was quiet, and I remember just researching. The first thing I typed in was Plexus bad reviews, because that's what everybody does. You're like, show me the bad stuff. I want to see what everybody has to say. And I remember that it was hard for me to find horrible stuff. It's normally so easy for you to find horrible stuff, but it was so hard for me. And I got really excited for two reasons. One, the weight loss. I'm a bigger guy. I mean, I'm a heavier guy. I've been heavier. I've gotten heavier over time. I wanted to lose some weight. I wanted to find a better me. And after looking at all those before-after pictures, I knew that it could help me. And then number two, you know what else I was so excited about? And some of you on there right now may be excited about this too. Was I had never heard of it. to me, that I wanted to be the one to bring this to my friends and family. I wanted to be the one to tell them about it. I didn't want to sit back and wait for somebody else to take this opportunity and run with it, because I knew that it was such a great product. I believed in the product from day one, and you'll hear that from everybody that you listen to or you talk to. Belief is so strong, and belief is powerful, and you've got to believe in these products. You can't sell, you can't share anything that you don't believe in. So you got to believe in it. And from that point on, it took me, the very first person to make fun of me was my wife. She's like, "What's that?" Because I put a video up the very first day. She's like, "What is going on?" Because I didn't even talk to her about it. She's like, "What's this? What are you doing?" I'm like, "Well, I'm excited about this. I'll tell you when you get home." But it's the very first one. She'll laugh about it now, but she was the very first one to sort of poke fun at me. And that's what everybody's so afraid of. What are my friends going to think? What are my family going to think? And you just can't worry about that. You really can't. So we're in it for long-term health, and we're in it for long-term wealth. And we want to make this something that allows my wife to stay home with our kids, and maybe one day we can have a much better financial future than we did before. Because if you asked me where I was gonna be 10 years from now, before I started Plexus, it would have been a much different story than what I'm going to tell you now. So that's sort of my why. That's sort of how I got in it. Crazy, funny story, but I wasn't looking for it. It wasn't on my radar. It just happened.
Nice, love it. If you don't mind, real quick, will you just share a little bit about how Plexus products have helped you so far? I know you haven't been on, and if you could share with everybody exactly how long you have been on the Plexus products and everything that's done for you.
Yeah, I experienced weight loss quickly. I started at 271 pounds when I weighed in and I started Plexus, and I started with Plexus Slim. I started with Plexus Block, and I started with Plexus Boost. I noticed Slim immediately giving me energy. I noticed Slim immediately making me feel less hungry. I was able to eat less at meals than I ever had before. I'm a clean plate club guy. I'll tell you that right here. Clean plate club. That's what I do. And just it felt powerful for me to stop eating something that tasted so good. And I know Plexus is what gave me that power. So up to this point, I'm down 21 pounds. I feel great.
Nice.
I'm flowing. I mean, I think I lost 9 pounds in like the first week, and Nikki's like, "Whoa, okay, that's great, but that's not necessarily how it always works." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're probably right, because I had a lot of weight to lose, so it was easy for me to lose that weight. But right now I'm on a steady pound per 1 or 2 pounds per week, but it's flowing. I'm feeling great. I take the products every day. We ran out of Slim for 1 week, and it was not fun. It was not a fun household. I don't recommend that for anybody out there. You're going to miss it when it runs out. I'll tell you that right now. So we're still losing weight. My wife is losing weight. We're taking Plexus Slim religiously. We take Block every time before we're going to have pizza. We're going to eat real food, because that's the thing about Plexus. You can eat real food. You don't have to follow this crazy stringent diet, and they have tools for you to just control that stuff. So it's been an awesome challenge for me. It's been an awesome battle. I'm only 2.5 months into Plexus, and it's going to be such a long-term goal for me. I've told everybody from day one, it's not a short race for me anymore. This is a marathon. I'm running a full marathon right now. I want to see where I am a year from now, and that's how I challenge everybody when I try to get them involved. Is don't think, what am I going to be in 2 weeks? Think, what am I going to be in a year? What am I going to be in 2 years? Where am I going to be if I just keep up with this and take control of my life?
I love that you mentioned that like we can eat real food and stuff like that, because that's like the first question that I get asked from potential customers is, what do I have to change my diet and exercise to? Or am I going to have to starve myself? Or how many meals am I going to have to skip? Like, that's their first concern, which I don't blame them. I like to eat too. And, Plexus, like you said, is definitely a tool that helps us just do better.
Yeah, and I have a really good story that I share with people. For all my people that are on diets out there or that have been on diets before, how many times have you been in that scenario where your family or your friends are gonna go, everybody's gonna go out to dinner, and they look at you and they say, oh, well, what can you eat there? Or is there anything that Danny can eat there? And that's when your diet starts to take control of your life, and your friends and family are even starting to think, where can we go so Danny can eat? I mean, I had a friend of mine, we were going to ride a bike. We were going to ride our bikes one day, and we had plans to ride our bikes, and then we were going to go get something to eat. But he called me before we went. He's like, man, I'm starving. I have got to eat. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, where do you want to go? He's like, Wendy's. And old diet Danny is like, Wendy's, well, I don't know. There's probably nothing I can eat there. Can we go somewhere else? And I just knew that I could go there. I could order one like chicken go snack wrap. I didn't have to alter our plans. I didn't have to alter what we were doing or throw out that diet card like, hey, I'm going to diet. Let's go somewhere else. I just rolled with it, and I didn't have to feel like my diet was in control of me, and that was just a powerful feeling for me too.
That's a very good point, because our diets do kind of control. My cousin was over here today, and she kind of did the same thing, like, I can't have any of that. Sorry, I'm dieting and stuff like that. So
Yeah, it starts to take control, and you don't want that, and that's what Plexus gives you. It gives you your life back, and it gives you the tools you need to really, really move past that and get past that stuff.
that's a good point. I hope a lot of people take that to heart.
Yeah.
Awesome. I couldn't agree more. I love it. Can you share, I know you did a Periscope video about attitude. Can you share with everybody why attitude is so important? Because I know it's so important, and some people just really don't understand the whole attitude side of it.
I would love to. I've been an attitude nut from the beginning, as long as I can remember, because I made that Periscope because in life there's only so much you can control. You can't control what happens to you. You can't control the cards you're dealt. You can't control how things fall, where they fall, or how hard they fall. All you can control at the end of the day is your attitude and how you react to what happens to you, or how you react to the cards that are given to you. And you are in full control of your attitude and how you look at that scenario and how you look at that situation. And being positive in this business is so important, because you're going to have, I learned very early that there are peaks and valleys in this industry. There are peaks and valleys in this job. You're going to have some times where you feel like this is awesome. Everybody's answering back when I email them. Everybody's answering back when I message them. I didn't have to say anything. This person's just like, where do I buy? And then the next week, you send out just the same things the exact same way, and guess what? Nobody even answers back. You're posting every day. Guess what? Nobody liked it. And if you let that consume you, and if you let that take control of you and that situation, and you don't control your attitude, and you're not positive and know that what you're doing is good for people and you're helping people, it's going to set you back. So choosing your attitude and being positive is what everybody sees you and how everybody views you on Facebook, which is obviously a huge tool that we use here at Plexus, and that's how we communicate with so many people. And they want to see that positive person that, because there are people there that want you to fail. There are people that are like, when's he going to quit? When's he going to give up? Oh, gosh, he's on my feed. He's blowing up my feed with all this stuff. When's this going to be over? And they're just waiting for you to stop. And you just got to keep pushing through that stuff. But you got to stay positive. And if you can't stay positive, you got to do something like the Plexus Power Partner. I'm working on getting one now. My wife is a great Plexus Power Partner for me. You've got to stay connected. You've got to talk with people in the industry to stay motivated, to stay on top of things, to keep your head up in the sky of Plexus sky where it needs to be, so you can be that ray of sunshine. You can be that ray of light for people that you come in contact with, because you are literally helping people change their lives here, and that's one thing that you need to remember. You're not just here to make a little bit extra money. You are a crucial tool in people transforming their lives now, and you have got to be a positive influence in their life, and you've got to just be that ray of sunshine through that whole process.
So true. And everything you said was so true. And some people I know get a bad attitude when people aren't responding and people aren't liking stuff. And I know I say this all the time, but I have to say it again. People are watching. They always are watching. And like, I just had a girl that joined my team, and she told me that she had been watching me for over a year. And it's crazy because I never heard from her. She never liked a single thing of mine. She never, ever commented on anything. And still to this day, and I've been in the company for a few years now, I get very few likes and comments, and but people message you and people are watching, and I can't tell you how many people tell me that they're watching, and it's just crazy. And then another thing I was just thinking of about attitude, like Danny said, every time something bad does happen, it's what you take from that and it's what you learn from it, to make you better, that really counts. And you got to keep that positive attitude, because just learning from mistakes that you've made and learning to stay positive is the best, and having a good attitude is just so important. So I just wanted to add that to it. I do have a few other questions for you. Can you share, Danny, how connecting, how do you connect with your network, and how important building relationships are, and just how that helps your business so much, and how maybe you probably already had, I think that I can tell by now that you did already have a little bit of that before you started Plexus, so it's just awesome. But if you could share a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, connecting with people is key. I mean, you need to be a resource for these people, because they are reaching out to you about the Plexus products, about sometimes the Plexus opportunity right off the bat. And reaching out to those people and being that resource for them is so important, because they look for you to be that person to lead them in the right direction now. You're now a crucial tool in their journey, and when people reach out to you, you need to be that person that tells them what they're going to benefit from the product, where they need to start. I get so many people that are like, okay, I'm intrigued now, tell me about this. Those are the people that you really need to start teaching. You need to really start teaching those people exactly what Plexus is all about and exactly what these products can do for them. And connecting for me has been just doing my thing. And everybody might think that I'm out there like sending out these Facebook messages and I'm harassing these people. No, I'm sharing a story, and so many people have connected with my journey and they want to know more about it. And that's how I've connected with my people, is I've told a story. I've told a story about my progress. I've told a story about what I think Plexus has done for me and what I think Plexus has done for other people's lives. And people in my community, and people, my Facebook community, and people at work and my job and where I go, they see that story, they see that transition, and that's really where I get a lot of my business, is showing people what Plexus can do. And that's how I really connect with my network. That's how I really connect with my people.
So you didn't take Plexus every day and feel a lot better and then not tell anybody?
Yeah, no, I did not.
I feel like a lot of us do that. We're so afraid to open our mouth. We're so afraid to tell somebody. So we're just these closet Plexus drinkers feeling great, but we're not telling anybody.
Yeah, I knew I was in such a unique opportunity because I don't share with people. I was not a big Facebook poster before. I mean, I would post basically when I was doing something fun or we were somewhere cool, and I'd take a picture and be like, "Hey, check this out." I was not a heavy poster, and I definitely had never done a video on Facebook of myself, just like with the camera here, like, "Hey." And my very first day with my hat on and my cutoff shirt in my living room, I didn't know anything about Plexus. I really wasn't educated. I just knew that I had to tell people that I was going to start this journey. And to me, the video is what held me accountable for my personal journey. I just told thousands and thousands of people through this video that, look, I'm starting this and I'm going to do it. And if I didn't, then they were going to know. And to me, it was like a challenge for me. Like, I put myself out there. I did it. Everybody knows that I need to make it happen. And I tell people, even my new ambassadors, that your personal journey can be directly tied to your financial future. I mean, if you just do a good job and you're adamant and you believe in the products and let the products work, it can be directly tied to how well you do in this company. And your personal testimony is so powerful. Share it. Share the crap out of it. Tell everybody, even if they don't want to hear. Tell them.
I couldn't keep my mouth shut about it in the beginning. Had to tell everybody. I mean, still the same way, but that's your personal testimony. I agree. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So true. Real quick, I know you brought up how you were doing videos. I think that that's been like such a huge thing for you. And I know it's a lot of people are like kind of scared to do a video and they, don't want to do it, even myself. And you just do such a good job doing your videos. Do you have any advice for anybody who's like kind of like on the fence about doing a video? Because I know it's kind of a lot of work. Like even posting is a lot for some people, but like doing a video is like a lot for some people, but you do it like just so naturally and like it's like you just love it and you just do such a good job with it. And I think that you really get the word out that way. Do you have any advice like about the people that are like kind of holding back and not wanting to like do a video? Because it seems so much real. I think Kara could agree with me on this. It seems so real when people are doing a video. It's more personable. Um, everybody wants to watch a video rather than read a post. So they're just so helpful.
Yeah, they are helpful, and I think everybody should do a video. And I love doing my videos because I feel like I personally connect with my audience. I feel like it's the best way for me to just talk to people because you put those posts and you see people slide through Facebook. It's just that thumb motion, and Facebook nowadays, when it's a video, it'll just start playing. I mean, if you've recorded a video, you don't have to play anymore. You have to you have to touch it to get the noise. But you're gonna see my big old teeth and my big old face right at you, right there. And I think I think people watch it. I think people are more inclined to watch you personally talk about the product, talk about your journey. They're more inclined to just watch you do it other than to just read your words. Because Facebook is packed with words, and people just love watching videos. So if anybody needs help with it, I mean, I would love to help. My wife did way better than me on her first video, and believe me, she was scared to death to do it. She avoided the situation like a week and a half straight, and I'm like, are we going to do this morning? She's like, no, I'm going to hurry. I got the blah, blah, blah. Every excuse you could think of to not do this video. And then she does this video on Plexus Slam and how to shake it up and how to do it, and she gets she gets like 1,300, 1.3K views.
Love
it. Out of the water on her first video, and I was all confident, like I'm gonna own this. And she takes a week and a half of me asking her every day, are we gonna do this today? And she's like, oh, it's a busy day, I gotta leave early. And then finally she does it, and she gets such great feedback because people just connect with these videos. And after I started doing videos, Nikki put a challenge out to her team, and I think people started doing videos on her team.
Yeah.
That you can't not say that, and even if you think people are not watching, Nikki said it before, I'll reiterate the fact, people are watching you. They are watching you, and these videos are your one-on-one time. If you're watching this right now, it's a connection. You have a connection with people when you're doing this. It's real people. It's not just words.
So true, and his videos are so cool. Like his first video, I think you're riding your bike the first video, weren't you? Yeah, it was so cool. So it's like people, even if people aren't interested in Plexus, they're like, hey, what's he doing on his bike? And they're like nosy and they want to know what you're doing, and even the nosy people end up being drawn into your video because they're so good. And you guys did one on a beach, and his wife was holding up signs like reading, and people want to read them because even I started to read the video. The guys are on the beach, and Danny's in the background with his little like surfboard, and they have this music playing, and Shirley's holding up signs talking about Plexus, and so you don't want to stop watching this video because you want to read every sign that she holds up, and they're just so cool. If you haven't seen his videos, you guys got to watch them. They're awesome. And I think I have another question. How do you keep her blinders on? I know it's so hard for some people to like stay confident, and you're so new into the business, and you already have your blinders on. You don't care what people think, and you're posting away, and you're working the business, and you're doing so good at it. How do you do that?
Well, to think you're going to go through life and not experience failure it's not a realistic view, and you have to know that people are not going to always agree with what you're saying. People are not always going to agree with what you're doing, but there's that whole subset of people that are listening to you, that want to hear you. And to me, no is an opportunity. No is an opportunity to show somebody either your personal testimonial or your financial testimonial. I've had people that I know would be fantastic in this business that I've reached out to, and they're like, oh, I've done this before. I've heard, whatever, Amway Global, been there, done that. I'm not even going to go here. And I'm like, okay, then you just gave me a personal challenge. So what you're saying is if I give you a financial testimony and eventually I'm successful in this, there's a good chance that you'll join, right? And they're like, okay, yeah, I mean, if you show me that you can do a good job with it. And I've had people that are like, talk to me next April. Talk to me next April. We'll see where you're at with it. And then it's like they're challenging me to fail. And to me, I internalize that as a personal challenge. Like, I'm not going to fail. You're giving me so much energy and so much will to want to prove you wrong right now that I'm going to push through this. And however you can put your blinders on, however you can block out those negative people, you really just have to. And that's how I deal with it. Is I think no's are opportunities. And if you can make no's feel like an opportunity to you, and up until the point when somebody's like blocking you on Facebook and they're like, goodbye, never talk to me again. By that point, you probably went a little too far, so back off. But just your personal testimony, your weight loss, your health, your wellness, people want to see that. And if they say no now, that doesn't mean that they're not going to be coming back around in 6 months and be like, okay, I thought this wasn't legit, and it was gonna eventually just turn into one of those things that you were doing and it was over. But it looks like you're doing it now. And I feel like in my 2.5 months that I've been doing it, I've just like scratched the surface of people that are interested in Plexus. I know, and I'll say it again, just like Nikki said it, people are watching, and I get people at least once a week, and it just drives me. They're like, okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me a little bit more about Plexus. And those little wins, you have to take those little wins, and you have to remember those. It's like a relationship. You have to remember those good times. You have to remember those good times for when the bad times come around, and those good times and those good experiences is what's going to push you through those negative people. And if somebody is really coming at you, I just want to give a shout out to our Plexus team. I had a new ambassador that did a new post, and somebody went right at her right off the bat hard, like, this is a joke. I can't even believe you got snaked into this. And she kept trying to be positive, and I looked at it, and I'm like, I sent a message out to all of the Facebook, all of our team, and I'm like, hey, friend this girl, go on this page and start posting positive stuff about Plexus. And everybody did, and it was awesome. And basically this guy just got flooded with like positive stories about Plexus, and that's just a team. You know what I mean? That was a team coming to a brand new team member's side to help her through those scenarios that all of us fear. That person just coming at us relentlessly, like, no, this is a joke. Those negative Nellies, those people that they never watched Bambi, and Thumper never told them that if they don't have nothing nice to say, then don't say it at all. Those people. And the Plexus team, our Plexus team, came through and just flooded that feed with positive stuff about Plexus. We didn't come at them hard, like you're an idiot or why are you saying this? We just talked about how positive we were about Plexus and killing them with kindness. And I just wanted to give everybody that did that a huge shout out, because that was the definition of teamwork. That was the definition of one Plexus. That was the definition of just being this community of people that are so far away but so closely connected. So it was awesome.
So true. I was a part of that post, and I loved it, and we all did. We all stayed very classy, but we just gave him some really good information because he had no idea what he was talking about, and maybe he'll join our team one day.
Yeah, and that ambassador, she's the same way. She didn't give up on him either. She's gonna try to get him, and when he does, we're gonna post all that, and we'll razz him a little, but we'll let him join us.
I need to know of this. If that happens, I need to know.
Yeah, I'll make sure you know.
Okay, so my last question, and then I know Kara has some questions too. What tips, because you're very new, you said you signed up September 1st, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So he's so new to this business, but he's doing so well. So Danny, what tips do you have for new ambassadors that are wanting this badly right from the beginning? Because I know there's a lot of people who say they want it right from the beginning, but what tips do you have to actually get it?
Right. And to me, from the very beginning, I knew that there was no reason to recreate this wheel. There are people that have been doing this for years that will tell you exactly how to do it. And guess what? They've done it the right way and the wrong way before we did. And they know exactly what you should be doing. So to me, it's taking advice from those leaders. For me, it was Lori Cooper. Like, I really looked up to her in the beginning. I just wanted to know what she did. I asked her questions because she was in my upline. Nikki's my upline, and then Lori's my upline, and she was answering all my questions. I mean, she's a diamond ambassador. She's got to be busy, but she's taking the time to answer my little questions, point me in the right direction. So go out there and learn. I mean, nobody's going to really give you this entire Plexus business and just lay it on your plate and say, you know, eat away, we're going to take care of everything. You've got to spend some time getting to know the products. You got to spend some time getting to know what preferred is, what a retail customer is. You got to know how to place the order. You got to know how to do the whole thing for when your customer asks you. And staying connected. So stuff like this. If you're a new ambassador and you're on this tonight, then amen. You're already doing the first thing. You're staying connected. This is a huge network. This is a huge team. And you need to have people around you to motivate you to be successful in this business. So stay connected. Just do the Plexus meetings, do the training calls, do anything that you can do. Make time to sit in on stuff because you're going to learn something almost every time. For me, I definitely watch YouTube videos. So like if there's somebody like even Plexus University, if you're not familiar with that on YouTube, I mean, they tell you how to throw your first party. They tell you how to do everything. They give you step-by-step directions on exactly what to do. So don't come into this business thinking that you need to recreate the wheel. Just ride on the coattails of the people that already did it, the people that already fell on their face and figured it out and got back up and dusted themselves off and decided, hey, we're going to put this tool together for you to point you in the right direction, and take that tool and use it and do it exactly how they tell you to do it. Because the business is the way to be successful in this business is already laid out for you. It's flat. It's in front of you. There's so many resources. Use them, learn them, get to know them.
So true. It's funny that you say that because we really are. We are so lucky. We are on one of the greatest teams. Show Me Plexus is awesome. We have all of the resources we need right at our fingertips. So it's like when people sign up, if they don't use that to their advantage, they're crazy. And I have somebody on my team that is having a hard time and wanting to give up, and I'm trying to think of all these things that I can have them do. And Lori made a great point to me. She's like, they have everything at their fingertips. We have it all. We have everything we have at our fingertips. We just have to do it. We just have to do it. We just have to work. We have to put in the work. You can't just expect to have results by not putting in the work. And we're doing like these calls. We're doing these calls now. We do the new ambassador training for new ambassadors. We do the live online events. We're doing a 10-day ambassador boot camp. We're doing 7-day challenges for new people who do the 7-day trials. I mean, joining this team that Lori has created and everybody has created together is just amazing. We have all the resources, and Plexus gives us even more resources outside of our team. So it's just crazy not to do the work because it's not hard work. It's easy. Just staying plugged in is just so important. I think Kara has some more questions for you.
All right.
Yeah. You actually, I know you answered one of my questions really. I was going to ask you about objectives, but I feel like you pretty much cleared that up, kind of how you go about objectives when you get them and your attitude and,
Okay.
moving on. But I know that you said that you did some research and stuff whenever you first joined Plexus, and I feel like a lot of men are turned off by Plexus because I don't know if it's the pink drink or right now, the majority of us are women, but what was it that, you didn't seem to care about any of that. What was it that made you say, like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to run with it, and I'm going to be successful with it, nobody's going to stop me, even though that I am a male and I don't see a ton of men that are, super successful in this yet.
Right, and really, to be honest, I thought about that early. I'm like, wow, there's there's a whole lot of women walking around this business, and I knew like a couple people that I could talk to, and very early in me getting started, I think I said that to Nikki, like, are there any male diamond ambassadors, or where's all the guys, and I even really early, if you want to talk about one Plexus and me and one team, Tim Thomas, who was on Nikki's call last week, he spent probably 40 minutes with me in my first like 3 weeks. I had some of those same questions. I'm just like, hey Tim, I'm new in the industry. It's obvious that there's a lot of women in this industry, and it seems to be a very woman-saturated industry. What's your tips? What's your advice for me to really get my feet wet? To get in there and be a dude in this industry. And he told me right off the bat, he's like, it is a non-issue. There's no male, there's no female. This is a health and wellness company with people who are interested in getting healthy, losing weight, and making money. And it doesn't matter if you're male or female. So for me, when I talked to Tim, I really just sort of got excited that I could do well in this business. And because I'm a man, and if there are men out there watching this, or ambassadors, or man ambassadors, if you want to call it, that are still waiting to get out there and get their feet wet. I think guys, and Tim said it before too, women are just very, very great at that networking aspect and building that community. And, guys, we don't really share our feelings, or, we're just sort of like, hey, how about the Giants? How'd they do? And, we don't really get into that stuff. But for me, I just knew that I had a unique opportunity to be one of the guys to I don't know, hopefully one day be a leader. I'd love to be like the Tim Thomases of the industry that really just set it out and set the groundwork and really just allow themselves to be great leaders and push guys towards it. I mean, he started that new Real Men Drink Pink or whatever YouTube.
I think it's like Plexus for the guys, maybe, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And guys, if you're out there, there's no reason that you can't be as successful. The whole thing, and I'll say what Tim said again, the guy-girl thing, it's a non-issue. Get over it. You're just as valuable in Plexus as everybody. Pink, green, red, white, whatever. Guy, girl. We all have the same information. We all are doing the same exact things. We all can reach the same amount of people. And in this network marketing industry, which is fantastic with how connected we are nowadays, you can reach just as many people as anybody. So focus on just your business. Take the guy, girl thing out of it, and just be a resource for everybody.
I feel like we definitely still are in the very, very early stages of Plexus, and we still kind of are, pioneering the way. We're maybe barely have 300,000 ambassadors right now, and as a male you just have such a unique opportunity, I feel like, to even just start to pioneer that and make leadership for other males and make them be an example for them not to step up. And just the fact that you are doing that now on your own, like, I don't think it matters whether you're a silver or an emerald. It still speaks volumes about you and what you're doing in this company.
Thank you. And Kara, your dad, he said something to me right off the bat the very first day, and I'll tell you what guys are trained to, and just like your dad when he worked at FedEx, guys are trained to think that we need to exchange time for money. We need to do a job, and we need to go out there and work hard, and then that's what makes us get money, and we're trained that way. And it was so powerful for me for your dad to say that his whole life, that's all he thought was that he needed to trade time for money. He needed to get up, he needed to go to work, and he needed to work long, and that's how he got paid. And that was how it was going to be for the rest of his life until Plexus came into his life. And that was something that stuck with me from the very beginning. That night when I DJ'd Nikki's party and I wasn't even really interested, I remember him saying that I always thought my life was going to be time equals money, and I need to go to work, and I need to clock in at 8, and I need to clock out at 5, and that's what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And I think guys sometimes tend to think that way, and you really need to get out of it and understand that Plexus is an opportunity for you to take control of your financial future and there's still time and money, but the time is not as much, and you don't have to be away from your family, and you can still do the things that you want to do, and you don't have to sacrifice your time to get your money. And that's something that I definitely do think, now that I say that, the guys think, is there's just that time money aspect. And your dad retired from FedEx, and before he started Plexus, FedEx was going to be the rest of his life. And that's just how a lot of guys think. And as soon as you can see this opportunity, as soon as you can see the compensation plan and what this actually can do for you, as long as you just try, you just do the work, you can get there. Nobody at the top is any more qualified than anybody at the bottom, but the people at the top, they tried, they put out the effort, they stuck with it, they did not give up. And anybody out there listening right now, you just can't give up. You just have to keep trying. Keep moving. You can get there. If it takes you, some people got there in 6 months, it may take you 6 years, but guess what? 6 years is not that long if you think about it. If you could be financially set free in 6 years, start now.
We always think about, like, oh my gosh, that's so long. And I always say that same thing. I don't care if it takes you 5-10 years to even reach the rank of emerald. We're willing to go to college for 4 years and not get paid at all those 4 years to go into a job where we probably won't make as much in the entire year as we have in the student loans to pay back. But we don't think anything of that. But if we have to put in more than like a month of time with Plexus, and we maybe have not rank advanced yet, we're like, it doesn't work. But
yeah, that's so true.
If you put in the time and the effort, and if the only way to fail is to quit, so.
Right.
So I know you talked about some of the things that you did, but you talked about how you make the videos and how you connect with people and stuff like that, but is there like things that you try to do every day to make sure that you're successful, to help make sure that your business is running? And do you stick to any sort of schedule, or what works for you?
I really don't stick to any sort of schedule, I'll be honest about that, but I do make sure that I'm being active in my social network community as it pertains to Plexus posts. New ambassadors, old ambassadors, whoever you are, copying, pasting post is so simple. It is so simple, and there's so much great information that people out there put. One of my very early loves was Kimberly Rose and her posts, which I thought were like so informative. Every time I read hers, I learned something every time, and I had to send her a message like, just don't stop, do not stop. Whatever you're doing, just keep it up. Every post you make, I learned something. And the thing about Plexus is you can share those, and you can get those out to your people. And I'll keep up with my reoccurring theme of people are watching. They don't have to like or comment to be watching. They're looking at it. And if anything, some of them are afraid to hit like or comment because they think you might jump on them like a dog and be like, hey, I saw you like that. What do you want to talk about? Hey, what about Plexus? So they're maybe afraid to do that, but they're going to eventually come around. So I post every day. I set up my own little group on Facebook, Plexus for a Better You, where I keep the people that have reached out to me in this group, and I reach out to that group more than I reach out to my Facebook community. But that's a group of people that have either expressed interest or I think would be great, and I put them in that Facebook group, and I make sure that that is my Plexus group that I'm going to be putting Plexus stuff in almost every single day. I still need to get better as an early ambassador of really reaching out to people on the old phone. I'm still, just like Tim and Michelle said last week, I'm still stuck behind Facebook Messenger and text messages and running that wave, but I still could do better with actually picking up the phone and reaching out to my network. But just posting, I mean, that's really what I do. And when I post and when I put my personal journey, and just like you said, when I put the videos up, people are intrigued and they come to me. I tell people that all the time. If I'm not out there, if you think that I'm just scouring there and I'm sending like, hey, want to talk Plexus, want to do this, I'm not doing that. I'm sharing my story, and people are reaching out to me to want to know more information. And that's the power of videos. That's the power of posting every day. You might post something on some day that it just happens to hit that person on that special day, and they read that and they spent the time, and then they reach out to you. So stay consistent, keep posting, post daily also put in some personal posts in there, but post daily. Put together your own little group of people that you want to keep tabs on and you want to follow up with, and keep posting. Post, post, post.
I think like so many people feel like they have to have this incredible weight loss story sometimes in the beginning before they can change. And I know that like you've been talking about sharing your personal journey and how important that is. Um, I just want to remind people that your personal journey can even be just like, you know, feeling better, sleeping better, more energy, better, no more pain, no more joint pain, things like that. There's a ton of things, and we don't. I know you said that you've lost like 21 pounds in a short time and 9 pounds in your first week, and it isn't like that for everybody. But Plexus is for everybody and usually offers something for everybody. So don't be afraid just to share the little wins too, kind of like he said, because having more energy to keep up with your kids is a pretty big deal for a lot of people out there. And if you have that, other people might want to know what you're doing to get it.
Right, and my wife put out, when Nikki talked about that beach video, that was her probiotic. I mean, she doesn't have a lot of weight to lose, but she loves what she's gaining from the probiotic and the BioCleanse, and that's why she wanted to make that video. She wanted to tell people that, look, I don't have to lose a lot of weight, but I'm concerned about my health for my family, for my future. And that was her message. And I know a lot of people saw that message in that video of she's just focused on her health and her family and being around for her kids forever and just extending your life so you can grow old together and stuff like that. So
yeah, long-term effects is where it's at.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think I have any other questions. Nikki, do you?
I do have one. I don't know if you want to share this, Danny, so you
I'll
can
share
kind of
anything.
yell at me later if you want. Can you just share with everybody how amazing you're doing? Because I know that a lot of you see my post about how I brag about Danny and how well he's doing, but some of them might not know, how well you're doing. Like he went silver your first month, and then you've signed up even a few more people after that, right? So how many have you signed up so far?
7 people.
Yeah. And I
So
mean, you
signed
just
up
signed
7
up.
people, and there's no secrets that I own. There's no tool bag, there's no head start that I got that none of you guys didn't get. And it may have been luck for me, I don't know, but I ran with it. I was committed to it from day one. We have already some great financial testimonies. I mean, in my very first month, I think with the support of, again, the people I was sharing with, friends, family, colleagues, my Facebook community, I did like 2,300 in PV. Very first month, because just everybody was
Crazy.
super excited to see what was going on. And that's that's a true picture of the people above me, Nikki, Lori, the people that were willing to help me out, the people that were willing to get me going, the people that made time for me, the leaders above us that showed me the direction to go. And that's why I've been so successful. I mean, yeah, I put a few of my own little personal touch on it and my own little spin and, ride a bike. I'm lucky I didn't crash and make a video, but, it has been awesome. And, I signed ambassadors. I lost a lot of weight and it's slowing down. And to me, it's going to go up and it's going to go down. And that's what you have to understand. And you can't give up, because even if I had a good first month, maybe I don't have a good third month. And it could be easy for me to be like, oh, I cashed out. I guess I did all the Plexus I can do. It's time to quit. Just like Kara said, let me go back to school and spend $60,000 for 4 years. It's not that way. Those peaks and valleys are going to be there. And I've been successful with the leadership ahead of me and the people that have wanted to help me. There's, Nikki's been awesome. Lori, Greg, Tim Thomas reached out to me. These are people at the upper echelon of the business that have taken time for little old 1-week-old baby boy Danny in the business.
Well, you're doing awesome, and I'm just so excited to have you on my team. I love watching you, and we had to have you on the call because I was like, if there's you're one of the best on our team, and I think that a lot of people love watching you, and a lot of people love learning from you and watching your Plexus journey, even though you're so new. So thank you so much for being on the call with us.
Thank
I
you.
loved having you. You answered so many good questions, so I think a lot of people are going to be able to learn from this video. And even with you being so new, it just kind of shows everyone who wants to give up so quickly that they can do this, and it doesn't. We're all ordinary people just doing the work. So
Yeah, and I wasn't given any Plexus gifts that you don't have. You just roll with it, you know. Community, Facebook, I mean, just roll with it.
Yep. So true. Kara, do you have any other questions? I think I
I
asked them
don't think
online.
so, but I do thank you so much for taking time out of your night and joining us and sharing with us. I know I personally learned a lot from you, so I'm sure a lot of other people have too. So thank you
Well,
again.
the honor is all mine. I mean, for you guys to choose me, I felt like I won the lottery. I didn't know what to do for,
Aw.
I'm just kind of like, man, it was really humbling to be chosen so early to do something like this that reaches so many people, and it really hit hard to the heart that you guys
Well,
had.
you deserve it. You
The
deserve it.
the message I got from Nikki is, "Oh my gosh, we have to ask Danny. Danny would do so great. I'm asking him. Oh my gosh, he said yes. He's gonna be on our call." So we're really excited to have you.
Well, good, yeah, and anybody out there that wants more information from me, or if I can help in any way with anybody that wants to get started, this is one Plexus, and I'll give any time or energy that I can give to make sure you're successful as well. And I know anybody above me, including Kara and Nikki, would be the exact same way. Anything at all you need, you can reach out, and anybody will help you.
Hmm.
Very true. Well, thank you so much. Everybody get excited. We're going to have some super exciting guests for our next call, so stay tuned. And I guess we'll end with that. Thank you, Danny.
Thanks, guys.
Good night.
Good
Night.
night.